This is Lon Winters with Graphic Elephants.
This is Jimmy Lamp.
This is Matt Vassallo with the RhinstoneWorld.com.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
And you are listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by...
My name is Terry Combs, RG, regular guy.
And Aaron Montgomery.
We're just regular guys having fun and trying to make a living in this really cool and exciting industry.
I think we all want to succeed 100% of the time.
Seek to understand before I try and make myself understood.
Bring a ton of great information.
Coming to you live from somewhere dark, dirty, and dank.
Well, all right. Welcome to the show. It is Friday, October 14th, 2022. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at oursuccessgroup.com. Good job on the date there, Terry. We were joking before the show there, but
we almost had a Ron Burgundy moment.
We did. So awesome. Yeah. So today, great stuff happening today. I also love the fact that the Reggie season is in full swing. You can see it with our background. Those of you that are tuned into the live broadcast here, but we've got a very special guest for you today. Jenna Sackett, who's the brand activation manager at Stahls', is going to be joining us in just a little bit, and we're going to have a nice wide-ranging conversation. She's certainly very adept and into understanding what's going on in the trends out there, especially as it relates to social media. So we're just gonna chat with her about all those things. And if you guys have questions for Jenna, we'd certainly love to get those in front of her as well. This is an opportunity to learn from somebody who's doing some amazing things out there. So yeah, excited for that today, Terry.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a great show, and our new segment that you were the brainchild of, and onward we go.
Yes, definitely. So looking forward to all that. But yes, as Terry just alluded to here, we've been able to kind of recreate a news segment here with the help of the industry partners out there that are reporting some amazing news and just kind of keeping the information out there. We are so blessed to have so many wonderful programs. But today we get Adrian Palmer from Screen Printing Magazine is going to be joining us here in just one moment. So Terry, are you ready to bring Adrian in?
Let's see.
All right.
See what news items there are.
All right. So here we go. Let's bring on Adrian Palmer from Screen Printing Magazine in.
Hi, thank you so much for allowing Screen Printing Magazine to be a part of this. As the guys mentioned, I'm Adrian Palmer. I am the editor-in-chief of Screen Printing Magazine. And the first headline I want to share is our recent photo gallery of screen printed posters for artist Jack White's tour. So live music is back, and many touring acts are collaborating with designers to create posters commemorating their shows. And so Jack White, who you may know best from the White Stripes, has been releasing a series of screen prints at each show on his current tour. And we first heard of this collab via our columnist and podcaster and friend, Andy McDougall, at Squeegee Rama, which is a week-long educational screen printing event aimed at flat stock art printers. Dan Styles, Jack White, and Third Man Records teamed together for a special edition version of the September 16th poster. It featured an interactive and playable theremin effect that used conductive inks. And as Andy told me, it combines art, music, and electronics. So in our photo gallery, you can see that poster design as well as 20 others from Jack White's 2022 tour. Lady Lazarus, DNL Screen Printing, Baker Prints, and Aaron Draplin are some familiar printers and designers you may recognize. And stay tuned for more coverage on screenprintingmag.com related to gig posters in the near future, a little bit of a tease. And yeah, so you can see here, this is one of our photo galleries. We have a lot of different photo galleries on the site, so make sure you check out some others, but you can click through and see some really cool designs created for concerts all over the country, all over the globe. It's a really cool endeavor, and it's nice to see some of our screen printing friends who are involved with the designs and the prints. All right. Second headline, we are doing more business news reporting, specifically about mergers and acquisitions. We're getting a lot of interest from our newsletter subscribers on this type of content. And so this headline I'm going to share is a good recent example of that. So Eagle Products in Kansas City, they're a manufacturer of decorated apparel, and it's recently been acquired by JAL Equity, which is a Sarasota, Florida-based investment firm that owns tshirts.com. And so Eagle Products is best known in the souvenir, gift, and resort industry, and JAL Equity owns and operates a portfolio of 35 plus companies, and a lot of them are in the print industry. And so we covered that JAL says that pairing the Eagle Products wholesale operation and the tshirts.com e-commerce platform will allow them to offer their customers an expanded product offering and stronger manufacturing and delivery capabilities. So you can read this and more industry news at screenprintingmag.com. We're seeing a lot of interest there, so we're going to keep doing those types of stories. And my final headline, which I think is the most important headline, no offense to the others, but we are celebrating the 2022 Women in Screen Printing Award winners in person in Las Vegas. Ton of fun. The Print Mafia crew, Nikki Bowen and Allison Collins, women in screen printing shirts. These were designed by Jeremy Picker. I'm actually wearing my shirt from last year, if you can see. And they'll be live printing those a little bit before and after the ceremony. So you definitely want to make sure you get that. We will have wine and beer. The winners will be on stage receiving their awards and sharing acceptance speeches. We're also recognizing the Women in Wide Format Awards, which is through Big Picture Magazine, in which I'm also the editor-in-chief, and this is the 7th year for those awards. So it's just going to be an awesome time honoring women in the entire print industry, and I hope everyone can make it. If you can't, you can follow us on social media. We'll be sharing a lot of content during and after the event. We're Screen Print Mag on Instagram, and we're also on Twitter and Facebook, LinkedIn, all the good spots. So I hope to see everyone in Vegas. Thanks, Terry and Aaron, for the opportunity to share what's going on with screenprintingmag.com, and right back to you.
All right. That was awesome. Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Adrian.
Absolutely. I love that segment. Two things. The white stripes, shouldn't they have started with the plain white tees? I mean, isn't that more appropriate to our market? And what Adrian didn't mention is she and I are both graduates of the Ohio University School of Journalism. So
there you go. Great minds think alike. Awesome. And then I heard wine and beer, so I know I will be at that. Not just for that. This is it's really cool. I got an opportunity during the COVID times to pop into the Zoom. I think they did it on Zoom at that point when they were doing these acceptance speeches. So to be able to do this live and be able to celebrate those women that won those awards, I think that's going to be really cool. So I'm really looking forward to that coming up. Terry, we had one other quick news item just for us personally, if you wanted to share that real quick, because then we also have to get to the dad joke.
Right, exactly. Well, we want to remind everybody, and we made the announcements of categories last week, but the Reggie Award nominations are up and ready for you to make at 2, the number 2, regularguys.com. You have until November 10th to make your voice heard and enter your nominations. And it's funny, I was messaging with Jay Bassell the other day, and it took him a little while to respond, and he says, "Oh, sorry, I was over at 2 Regular Guys putting in my nominations for the Reggie Awards." So,
yeah, nominations are coming in. So let's keep those coming. I haven't looked at the numbers, but definitely can see them pouring in. So yeah, we are excited to announce those nominees, and we're going to announce everybody too, right? So it's all about recognizing everybody in the industry. So
exactly right.
If it has to be a 2-hour show, it has to be a 2-hour show, Terry. Just kidding.
We are not averse to that.
No, we are not. We are not. All right, Terry. Well, it's still the spooky month, I believe. So I'm imagining, knowing you, you've probably got another appropriate dad joke for us.
I do. I don't know if those words go together, appropriate and dad joke, but
we'll see. It at least fits the month. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, here it is. So Frankenstein was giving his son Frankie the talk. He said, so when two monsters love each other very much, and then Frankie interrupts and says, they do the mash? Yes, Frankie, they do the monster mash.
There's a lot of head shaking. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a good one, though. I've been looking forward to that one. I've been laughing. Terry did share that one with me earlier, and I've been laughing about it for, I don't know, a good solid week or so now. But I am a dad, so those jokes do resonate with me.
Exactly. It's a regular part of my conversation. So
yeah, that's right.
All right, Aaron, before we go any further, we want to thank everybody for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. We are always looking for new guests, so if you or anyone you know would like to join us, go to calendly.com/2 regular guys, and share your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version of the show, we would appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys podcast with all your industry friends so they can become regulators too. And we would appreciate you giving us a review on any podcast format you're listening to, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon. We are everywhere. And please give us a review there. It's very helpful to us. And if you're a regular listener, please go out there and do that. And if you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments and your questions.
Yeah, definitely. And if for whatever reason you're listening to a podcast somewhere and we're not on there, please let me know. I think we're everywhere. So, okay. Well, Terry, before we get Jenna in here, one more quick bit of business to do here. Coming up at the end of the month, I'm going to be presenting a workshop called Growing Your Business Effortlessly. So here's a little bit of information about that. As small business owners, we face many challenges, but these worries and fears cause us to become frantic, lost, or even completely stuck. Many people just wing it without a plan. You need a strong foundation, and that starts with a strategic plan. With a plan, you're more efficient, have more confidence, clarity, and purpose. We've created a new and improved workshop called Growing Your Business Effortlessly, October 28th and 29th. And as a bonus for VIPs, we will be hosting a Future You party. In the workshop, we will work on 5 crucial areas of your business. The live workshop experience is a small investment of only $49, but for the best value and to invest fully in your success, become a VIP. You will be invited to the Future You party, have access to the recordings, and get a full business plan template. Register now at oursuccessgroup.com/grow. All right. Well, check that out. Love to host you and be able to help you support your business. This is something that is helpful no matter what stage you're at. We've worked with people heading towards the 7-figure mark and all the way to startups and in between. So looking forward to that. All right, Terry. Well, let's real quick say hello to some folks. We haven't had a chance to interact with our regulators yet. We've been so busy kind of getting everything going here. And so we've got Justa checking in from Sweden, and we've got Mr. Todd Downing from Fat Dad Wholesale. Good morning. Glad to have Kristen back. So good to be back listening live. Love Jenna. Yes, I think everybody's going to fall in love with Jenna here in just a moment. And we've got Barb tuning in from northern central Minnesota. So, and then Ramona says, love this new segment. Thanks to all. And Terry just had a bit of an internet issue, so he will be right back. But let's just do this. Let's get Jenna in here. And I love all the follow-ups to the dad jokes. We'll get some of those in front of us here in just a moment. But we got much to talk about here. So Jenna Sackett is the brand influence manager and has been in the industry for 9 years with Stahls, a leading manufacturer of heat presses, heat transfer vinyl, direct-to-film, screen-printed transfers, and more. She's been an industry educator and mentor for 7 years, teaching custom printers about the value add heat press technology provides. So let's welcome into the show Jenna Sackett. Hey, Jenna.
Hello.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time here today. And I guess let's start off here. I'd like to know just how you got into the industry and kind of how you arrived at this current position with Stahls.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to backtrack to 2012.
Okay.
I started actually as an outbound call center representative.
There you go.
I just needed like a part-time job while I was in school, and it was local. So I was like, we'll give it a go. And obviously cold calling is not the greatest. I think anybody can agree to that, especially if you're like introing into what can potentially become a sales job or is a sales job. But that's actually how I got started. And I'm actually thankful for that position.
Yeah.
Because it did teach me a lot about businesses in our industry. And it also was like a very creative industry, which really piqued my interest. So just continue to go from there. Ended up with a sales role for a few years, and then found myself working with our YouTube team in 2015.
Okay.
So that's kind of what kicked me into gear when it came to social media marketing and the power it holds to help people grow and educate and learn more about different avenues that all these different business types in our industry can take for different revenue streams. So at that point, I just kind of became like addicted to it, right? Like I talk to a lot of people, help people with their business, and now it is where it's at because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said that you're addicted to it, right? This industry will do that to you. Yeah, and in a good way, obviously, right? It's such a great place to be. You get addicted to it, and then you can never leave, right?
Right. I did try to leave, actually. I left for about a year and a half, and I was like, we're going to go back.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I moved to Boston to try to be a volleyball coach, and I was like, nope, gotta come back. So there you go. All right. Well, you mentioned education already, and I know you guys are big over there at Stahls with education. Mm-hmm. What types of training events does Stahls offer customers? What's kind of the go-to for you guys?
Oh, wow. We offer a big library of education, whether that is our YouTube channel, our webinars that we do monthly. We do on-site education at trade shows. We host small, like micro events in local areas where people can drive to. So there's really a lot there. One of my favorite educational events that we do is when we're partnered with other industry professionals, people who have a lot of knowledge in other parts of the industry, and we kind of combine all of that education to give people a big part of what they can achieve, So there's plenty of education out there from Stahls. It's really hard to miss.
Yeah. It definitely is everywhere, and that's awesome. And so I guess trying to kind of figure out how often that training is probably whenever you're ready, right? I mean, how often are you guys doing live events though in that specific education realm?
So we try to pair in-person live events with trade shows because we already know that it has that draw, and it's making it easy for anyone that's maybe attending that trade show to get some extra education while they're already traveling to that area to go see the show. So what the easiest thing to do is to just go to the Stahls website and check out our events page, because that will list out when we go live on Facebook or YouTube. When we're publishing videos on YouTube, you can just subscribe there. And then, of course, all of our in-person events are listed there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But we do a lot because I travel a lot.
Yeah. When we were trying to set this up, you were like, well, okay, when I'm back off the road, I'm like, I get it.
Well, we forgot about Printing United next week.
Yeah.
I gave you the dates too.
Yeah. Well, it all worked out good here, and we're so glad to have you here. One other quick question as we talk about education. Obviously, you've kind of progressed into where you're at here, but what kind of education is your kind of go-to? I see the heat press in the background, so I imagine you're doing some actual, not necessarily hands-on, but you're showing that work. But what do you normally gravitate to when you're educating people?
I gravitate towards what I'm getting most questions about. As I'm doing all these trade shows, I get a lot of questions right now about direct to film, our Ultracolor Max heat transfers, why it's something they should be using if they aren't yet. So right now, education is really geared around that. And another one is social media. Everyone, if they aren't already, is going to be doing social media because it's a must at this point. Not that word of mouth and traditional business and taking orders isn't still happening. But I feel like most recently, those are the most common conversations I'm having like in person at trade shows. So I always want to gear my education towards that. We are a heat printing company, right? We manufacture our heat presses, leader in our digital heat transfers. So, it's always going to be related to that, but any way that we can educate our customers or our viewers in that realm, that's what we try to do.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, we've got Terry back here, so we're gonna bring him in. But real quick comment from one of the regulars, David Haynes with CorelTrainer.com, says education is where it's at for everyone. So I think we're all in the same team here. But Terry, I'm sure you've got some questions for Jenna too.
I do. Sorry, I thought we were done. No, yeah, Jenna. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about social media. What's trending out there these days?
Video is king right now. I don't see it going away anytime soon. We are seeing Instagram even gravitating more towards short form video. Facebook stories is another very big one for promoting product and bringing awareness to your brand, communicating with your followers, getting engagement from them, and TikTok, right? So our top three are going to be Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Not that Pinterest isn't still a great avenue, or LinkedIn. I feel like those are both really great platforms to be in front of your clientele. But where you can share for short form video is going to be huge for any brand trying to grow awareness there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, so I had an influencer in my last screen printing class and asked him to talk a little bit about social media and he said, so of all of you, who's comfortable on social media? Not a single hand went up.
That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
So what are some of the mistakes you see decorators make out there when it comes to their social media presence?
I could probably come up with a whole list.
No names, please.
I'm trying to learn, right?
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest thing is, being a character instead of yourself. Because if you're working with your customers and you're building rapport with them, this is just another avenue to do that, right? You want to be your true self. You want to have that relationship with your customer because that builds a loyal customer. The more they can know about you and get to know you and your business, they'll want to do more work with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm sitting here thinking of examples of this that I've seen recently.
Yeah. So we don't want to be a character on social media. We want to be our true selves, represent our brand, and align it with who we are as people so that we can resonate with the people that want to do business with us.
Yeah.
So in any form that looks like, just be yourself. That is like my number one tip. But that also comes with being comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah. And how, I think when you talk about being comfortable in front of the camera or, whatever it is that however you're engaging in social media, that could be a challenge, right? Because we go, oh, well, I have to be myself, but I'm kind of an introvert. And I've always kind of equated it with, yes, you need to be your authentic self. But when you're doing this, right, we have to be comfortable with ourselves. So we have to kind of turn it up a little bit and be that highest level of ourselves, not the introvert in the cave, because I think all of us have some level of that, right? I think most of us are actually ambiverts. So how do you help people? What do you explain to people to get them to feel a little bit more comfortable so they are getting out there and doing more and being their authentic selves?
Yeah, I would say do what you like, right? So if you don't feel great in front of the camera, don't make every video you in front of the camera. That's some options that I wish I had whenever I got started in doing video, because I absolutely despised getting in front of that camera. It's like I just didn't know how to talk anymore. So then it became very robotic and I just wasn't myself, but I didn't know how to do that because I was representing Stalls as a brand. So it was like very overwhelming.
Sure.
And it can be overwhelming, but it's taking the time to get used to it. It's not going to happen overnight. But be consistent in trying to do it. And if it's not you being in front of the camera to start and you just want to show them maybe projects that you're working on, that works too. And then eventually, as you're getting the hang of taking video and producing content that you want your clientele or your viewers to see, you'll eventually build relationship that way and start to feel more comfortable. I became most comfortable in front of the camera whenever I was doing lives because I was getting comments from people that I was seeing on there saying, hey, great to see you again. And that made me feel more comfortable, right? Because they were engaging with me and making me feel like, hey, it's okay if you mess up. We're learning from you. Thank you, right? So it's just really taking the time to get used to it, because there is a whole generation or 2 or 3 at this point that is not used to just being in front of the camera and always having a camera right in front of you. Can't say the same thing for Gen Z. It's like they were born with cell phones attached to their hands, right? Millennials adopted that. But yeah, it can be challenging, but if you keep at it, it will definitely come.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's such a good tip, right? To find what's going to work for you. I mean, when you say that, I mean, honestly, think about what we've done with Two Regular Guys podcast. I kind of, sorry, Terry, I used Terry, right? He was way more comfortable with this, and I knew I needed to grow into that. And so, find a friend, right?
Absolutely. I would have been able to do it without Josh Ellsworth. And at the time, Courtney Kibitza, who was my manager, they were also doing video a lot. So I would just be like, okay, help me here.
Exactly. Lean on that.
Well,
awesome.
It's also, it's like when you do seminars and things like that, it can be a little stressful if you're just up there talking, but as soon as that interaction starts with the audience, all of a sudden everything, you just kind of relax, and all of a sudden you're having a conversation, and I agree with you. It makes it much
That's
easier.
how it feels. Yeah, that's what I have to remind myself. It's just a conversation.
Totally.
And something I'd learned, I've been doing seminars for a few years, years. I don't know. But I learned something early on that everybody in the room who's listening to you wants you to be successful. They want you to do a good job. They want you. They're pulling for you. And so if you kind of think that way as well, that people watching you making your presentation, that hey, I want to learn something, and I want them to be successful teaching me. So
and that's one thing that I absolutely love about this industry is everyone's in everybody's corner, right? Like everyone's super helpful. I've seen so many amazing like networking opportunities come from the seminars at trade shows, where people are meeting and they're like, oh, you do that too? Can you help me? Like, how did you do that? And they're just, these relationships form, and everybody is just trying to help everybody succeed. It's one of my favorite things about this industry.
Yeah. And that's a really good point too, Jenna, because, as you're trying to get out there and put your business out in front of people, if you think about it from that realm, right? I'm just trying to help my customers succeed. I'm trying to help them,
Right.
with whatever challenge that they're faced. It may not be, where they need a ton of education, but they could use maybe a little entertainment. They could use some, they need to know why this process is better than the other, and vice versa. And so if you put yourself out there as that educator, I think that's going to go a long ways for people. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think that you hit on something pretty key there, entertainment, right? Because we can educate and we can talk a lot about what products that we're offering. But if there's no entertainment there and you're not engaging people in a unique way, then it's just kind of like, on to the next, right? That's another key thing when it comes to content, whether that's education, in person at seminars, or, social media. If you need some entertainment in there, like the joke earlier, I mean, I'm immediately like, hey, Dad, you're not going to believe this. Right? He loves jokes like that. But like, that's the entertainment factor. And you need a sprinkle of that in there from time to time.
Absolutely. I love that. All right. Well, let's get a little interaction here. We've got Barb saying Stalls has wonderful, helpful videos. So agreed. We've got Nikki of Demkowitz checking in here, and she says, talking about when she does presentations and stuff, always nervous before, then I settle in and I'm fine, right? So yeah, getting over that hump, kind of getting out there, and then it's going to be okay, right?
Yeah, let the nerves settle in.
Yeah.
Let the heart rate slow down, breathe.
I like it.
Right.
I like it.
Slow down, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
All
something else that I do when I do presentations too, and I just did a presentation for OSG on scheduling and estimating production time. I always like to sprinkle in some real life story about that, or here's this technique, and let me give you an example of how I've used this technique, or who I sold this to, or how my customer used it. And I think it helps people learn in that, oh, okay, I get it. I understand why you did this process, or so. Just another example.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've been working a little bit closer with ambassadors and influencers at Stalls, and they just have some really great stories. And they are amazing at sharing them in our Heat Press for Profit Facebook group. Nice. So shameless plug.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
But they just go in there and they have a grand old time. Like, oh, well, here's my ROI on my cat press. Here's what I did with the samples. I got 5 new customers because of it. Like, and they're just sharing all these tips. And I'm like, thank you. That's content for me. I appreciate it.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, you talked about some influencers and stuff like that. I guess for social media, maybe anything in general, but obviously I think our tone here is social media. But tell us some things that you've seen decorators do that have kind of impressed you, right? Like, ooh, that's a good idea.
I love when people are on there sharing new ideas. Because then you're getting engagement from people that maybe haven't seen something like that before. And then it's creating a conversation of, okay, well, how was this process done? But whenever they're turning it in a way that resonates with their brand and the products that they sell, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different trends that we could all hop on with social media, whether that is making short form video to trending audio, or dances if you're inclined to. But yeah, I think that seeing brands spin certain trends to resonate with what the products they're selling is like, it makes me warm. So like a good example of this is there is a trending audio, and I'm sure you guys have heard it. It's the corn one.
Yes.
It's the young boy that's just like, I love corn, right? Corn. And so I've seen several of brands that we work with that are spinning it and doing I love hats, and they're showing all the different hats that they decorate, or t-shirts or hoodies, whatever it might be. And I just love seeing them engage in these trends because it's getting their brand out there. So anybody that's doing those audio trends just like really, I just love it. I love
That's cool. That's smart. That's smart. A quick story about the Korn audio. I actually had not heard of it. I was a little behind the times apparently, but I was emceeing an event at the Start Here Academy out at Graphics Pro, and one of the influencers, Lisa Potts, she was talking about social media and she was talking about Korn. But the funny part was we were having audio issues with her computer at that point, so she was going to play the video and so everybody would hear it, but it couldn't happen. So she had the mic and she just kind of started humming it, singing it a little bit, and there was 400 people in there, and like in unison, all of a sudden they start. I'm like, wow, everybody knows this. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So I had to go look it up. All right, well, that's some great stuff. Real quick here, Nikki says, think outside the box moments are the best, right? And you hit on that, Jenna, right? You have that new idea. We always all have new ideas all the time, and then we kind of process them and we move on. And I think what you're saying is have that new idea, put it out there, ask for feedback, right? Get and kind of see what people are thinking about it, and that'll start a conversation for you. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll start a conversation. Any new ideas that, take off, then people end up trying it themselves and stitching your video or giving you credit to that. And it just kind of creates this little community of people that are just trying new things. And I am creative at heart. I'm always thinking creatively. So I like to see stuff like that. But I also love to see when customers are inviting their clients to things. So it's not like, hey, I'm trying to sell you something, right? We don't want to be overly salesy when it comes to social media because it's not a sales platform. It can be if you do it right, but you can't just put up a product and say, hey, we're selling this shirt. You have till Friday. It's $20, right? Like that's not what social media is for. We want to engage people. So they're taking that to a level of, hey, let me invite you to something. I'm going to go live on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I'd love for you guys to join me, have a cup of coffee with me. I'm going to tell you about some of the new products that I'm going to start offering, right? They're inviting and engaging people and getting them to join them in something that they like to do, which is just drinking coffee, right? So they might get some engagement from that. And that's what I like to see. They're building a community. They're engaging with their customers. And yes, they are selling a product at the end of it because that's the call to action. Yeah. And we always want to have a call to action, but we are being entertaining. We're talking with them. And it just, I love to see that, right? It just is a unique way of connecting when you can't always do it in person.
Yeah, I love that. All right, regulators, this is a master class in social media here, so make sure you're taking notes. But Terry, you got some other questions for Jenna?
Well, and just first a real quick comment. It kind of reminded me, we did a live event at Equipment Zone out in New Jersey, New York City area. And DTG DTF summer camp. And yes, I had the big hat when I took the stage. But we always have a successful decorator come at lunchtime and just kind of talk about their business. And this particular one, he has a location in New York City, has another location in New Jersey, lots of DTG, lots of DTF. And Jay Bassell was, who's our marketing director. He was.
We love Jay.
Everybody loves Jay.
Everybody loves Jay. Yeah.
And somebody who was made for this, by the way, this whole broadcasting, and he is a natural. But he was giving me some examples of what you could do with DTF, and he had cardboard presentation boxes, and so our expert decorator is over there looking, going, "You did that on a heat press with a DTF transfer?" And so we had him back for the next event, and he goes, "Man, I've been using it like crazy." So, we all can learn something every single day. There's opportunities out there. You just have to open your eyes and open your mind and say, "Gosh, that is a great idea. I'm gonna borrow that."
Yeah, that's something that Kelly Walters actually presented a while back in a kitting concept, right? Where
Very cool.
you're taking just a gang sheet of Ultracolor Max direct to film
Yeah.
and
Right.
cutting up designs and maybe doing a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a towel, whatever it may be. And then
Yeah.
you're putting it all into a box. Maybe it's customer acquisition or an employee kit, whatever it might be. And then you just take one of those extra logos and press it on the box just to have that additional branding opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
hopefully there are a lot of people writing this down right now on Junior Legal.
no, it's like,
Yellow
yeah,
Legal Pad.
it's such a versatile product. And I think that's why direct to film has skyrocketed the way
Yeah.
that it has, because there's a lot of flexibility with it for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So speaking of heat presses, so what other trends are you seeing in general with heat printing in the heat printing community?
Outside of the direct to film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say anything that would look more of like an embellishment. So that would be patches and emblems,
Okay.
which is what we call it, right? Flex
Yeah.
style, embroidered patches, whatever it
Yeah.
might be. It's the way we've been so innovative with heat printing is mind-boggling at
Yeah.
times, because there are all of these processes that used to be hard to achieve, and not necessarily hard, but like a high investment to achieve, like
Yeah.
an embroidery machine, for example,
Yeah.
just because of that barrier to entry, right?
Mhm.
And now all you need is a heat press. Right, that 1600 cat press is now able to achieve these embroidered patches, all because it has a very durable adhesive on the back, and you have to lock it down for 25 seconds and then you have an embroidered hat.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something a little unheard of, as opposed to where we were maybe 5 or so years ago, you know?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. As that technology evolves, right, then that opens up new things. And I, when you said embellishment, I was like, gosh, yep, that makes a ton of sense, right? Because it's not only, it's great to have visually, right? We spend a lot of time on our computers in front, and like you talked about video and stuff earlier, we get that 2-dimension, but I think as humans, we still need that 3-dimension, right? That the layers, the touch and feel and depth to things. So interesting that you guys are seeing a lot of that. Are there like kind of, you mentioned hats. Are there some other things that you're seeing really kind of pick up based on that kind of a more textured look and feel?
Yeah. So because of those emblems and patches and how easy it is to apply them now, I'm seeing people doing more elevated apparel as opposed to just a standard t-shirt or a hoodie. They might be doing puffer jackets for outerwear. And I've seen people doing leather patches on Carhartt. Like, I'm starting to see higher end brands that are typically retail filter in to our side of the industry that is taking it to a whole new level. So they're taking something retail and adding to it to create this amazing profit opportunity. And better yet, they're also putting it on social media.
Very.
So everything is content. So everybody knows the brand Carhartt for the most part, right?
Yeah.
We know a little about retail. We know who Carhartt is.
Sure.
And if you can show your customers that you can put their logo on it and put it on social media, that thing's going to blow up. Get all the little hearts.
Get all the little hearts that we're going for. I love it. All right. Well, Yosta says here, Jenna, you made me do a wood ornament for the Christmas tree with my heat press and the tips and tricks from your show. So there you go.
Oh, awesome.
So, and make sure you're checking that out.
Yeah.
And
There's
then
a lot of off the wall things people heat print these days. Wood ornaments was one a couple years ago. So that's awesome
very
that
cool.
someone actually took something from my webinar and did it.
That's awesome.
I
That's
love
very
to see
cool.
it.
Yeah, definitely. And then our producer, Eric Campbell, says texture, folks. Dimensional texture is so clutch. I'm an embroidery guy, though, so I might be biased. Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, we are here. It is actually the fourth quarter. I don't want to make anybody upset, but yes, we are in the fourth quarter. Time flies when you're having fun. So break out your crystal ball here. What's going to be the hottest gift item coming up for people with their heat press? I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here. So yeah. Let's.
Honestly, I could give the most generic answer and say that anything with the most impressions, right? So that's hats, that's water bottles, that's t-shirts, that's jackets, right? Those always have the highest impression. But something that I want you to think outside the box of is, yes, you can do those things for your customers if you're doing client gifting, but break outside of the norm and do something unique. Because that's what's going to set you apart from everybody else, right? Okay. So whatever that looks like to your client. So maybe I have a local business and I do their promotional items. So I typically might do a water bottle and a t-shirt and a hat and gift them with something new, but I'm going to change the finish of it. If I typically do a basic direct to film transfer, I'm going to show them Flex Style instead, that liquid metal type of heat transfer, so that they can see something new I can offer them. Or maybe it's a leather patch or a PVC patch. I noticed someone commented that PVC is extremely popular. And then do something a little off the wall. So maybe it's heat pressing a pad folio or a shoe. Or if I'm a trophy and awards guy, I'm going to press a sports ball. Because these are all things we can do, but we don't think about it because it's not our day-to-day. Yeah. So get creative with gifting, because this is our opportunity to look at our clients and go, okay, this is what they already order with me. I'm going to gift them with something with their brand on it that they have never seen me do before. And I actually have something sitting here. I swear I didn't plan this.
No, this is awesome.
This is like style just on a Yeti, right? And so like imagine taking a customer's logo and saying, hey, look at this. I know you just order a basic, like maybe sublimated mug with me, but check out this, right? So I would say just utilizing the holiday to really up your game with branding opportunities and show your customer different things that you can do.
Yeah.
So think outside the gift box or stocking. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, stocking. I love it, Terry.
Yeah, perfect. I kind of almost feel like we should take a break, Terry, for people to get a brand new yellow legal pad because their notebooks are probably full at this point. Exactly. But
I'm scribbling without looking, so my writing's not very good.
No, we've got Kristen Snyder here saying, I'm currently working on patches with soft foam that I was inspired by Jenna. So there you go. Keep inspiring people, Jenna.
Another dimensional product.
Yep, exactly.
Dimension is key.
I love it.
All right, Terry. Well, unfortunately we can't keep Jenna all day. So,
so Jenna, tell people where they can learn more and how they can connect with you.
So you guys can always connect with us through social. We have our Instagram channel, YouTube, TikTok. So always give us a follow, subscribe. We love to interact with everybody there. To keep up with events that we're going to be at, the easiest thing is ourstalls.com. There's an events page there that's going to update you on everything that we have going on. A lot of new shows. If most of you aren't making out to Printing United next week, we're going to be kicking it off in Orlando and Long Beach and Fort Worth in January at the ASI and Impression shows, PPAI as well. So if you want to come in person, we're always doing education. You guys can see these things in person, and then any of our micro events that we do as well.
Wow, you are still living out of that suitcase, it sounds like. So
there's only a few months out of the year where I get to actually put it back in its closet.
All right. Well, you know what? We always kind of like to close with a similar question, kind of get that last drop of knowledge out of you here, if you don't mind. But I guess I want to ask you, what's one piece of advice for a brand new decorator, somebody that's new into this industry, that wants to get into the heat printing business? What's your number one piece of advice for them?
Pick one thing and stick to it until you've mastered it and you're ready for something else. With heat printing, there are so many options. Yep. That's actually what inspired all of our education, because there are so many things to choose from. So we want to educate on each little thing so you know what is the best to start with. So if I was going to tell anybody to start, I would say with your heat press, just start with UltraColor Max direct to film transfers. That's going to encompass pretty much any request that you may get from a customer. And its flexibility allows you to print on a lot of different things. Once you're ready to level up from there and you've mastered that, then let's try something new. We'll get you samples sent out and you can try some different things, look at different revenue streams to add by using those products. My tip is take your time, because you can be successful in one thing and then grow into more.
That's such a great piece of advice. I love that in every sense of the. I see so many people that are just trying to chase everything, trying to figure out what's going to stick, and they fail because of the fact that they really do need to, like you say, focus on one thing. There's plenty in that one area. So, wow. Yeah. I'm so glad that I kept you around to ask that last question.
No, we can't
All right.
do everything to everybody. So
that's right.
Your thing, make sure it's something you like so you enjoy it.
There you go. Jenna, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I can't wait to see. We'll see you out in Las Vegas next week.
Yeah, I'll see you there. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Jenna. Awesome.
Terry, wow. Your hand a little bit sore from all the writing there. Right? Yeah. Now, Jenna's just really a great person. We've had a chance to meet her in person a couple times, but if you have not, get out to one of these events, go and just tell her thanks, right? She's somebody that is a young up-and-comer in our industry, and with people like Jenna around, I know that we're going to be strong and mighty for a long time here. So,
well, and a couple of folks commented about, hey, from your presentation, I did this. Eusta, for instance, doing the Chris. We all like to hear that. So, we love that feedback that what you did made a difference, and so that's awesome. Thanks. For a couple of folks who reached out and made those comments.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you guys. Well, no 5 things this week. We're still waiting. We're waiting for you guys, the regulators. So make sure that you guys.
5 reasons that we're waiting instead of no.
You want to just do that real quick? No, it's okay. But head over to 2 regular guys. That's the number 2 regular guys /5. That's the number 5 things. And it's super easy. I know some of the people that we've got here in the comments right now, they've already done it. You can do it more than once. So come on back. And it can be anything, right? How about the top 5 things that Jenna inspired me to do? Right? There's one right there.
5 ways I use my heat press.
Yeah, there you go. Because like Jenna was talking about, right? It's about engaging in that conversation. It's about getting other people thinking. And yes, we might not be your ideal customer, but that's practice, right? So maybe you do a quick video of you, and we're just a couple of goofy 2 regular guys, so it doesn't really matter.
Just among us.
Yeah, exactly. Just amongst friends. All right. Well, speaking of amongst us, Terry, you are a traveler as well. Terry's Big Book of Travel happening. What's coming up for you?
Exactly. In the short future, my complete screen printing business course, I'm going to be at Atlas Screen Supply in Chicago, November 5th and 6th. I'm going to be back at Workhorse Products here in Phoenix, December 10th and 11th. My entire Workhorse and Atlas schedule for 2023 is on my website right now, and that is terrycombs.com. And I'll also be in the Equipment Zone booth at Printing United. I'd love to tell you which booth it is, but I failed to put it in the outline.
Well,
yeah,
exactly. That's the problem. I've got it in the outline, and I could hardly remember what the 2 regular guys booth is, because it's like, holy cow, I've got to write it down to carry with me. Okay.
And there's 700 vendors there. So
wow. It's going to be amazing. Really looking forward to it. So speaking of that, Terry, yes, the 2 regular guys will be out there at the event. We do have a booth. I will probably not be in the booth much at all, based on all the. So we're media, so to speak. So we've been invited to all these different press conferences. Plus, there's the apparel zone that they want me to hang out in, and so come by the booth. I think Nikki's gonna. I don't know how often Nikki will be there, but she's gonna be hanging out in the booth. David Haynes from Corel Trainer will be hanging out in the booth. There'll be a couple blow-up couches there. So come on out to Vegas. It's going to be a great time. And there you go. Eric is on the case again. Equipment Zone is booth C7336. So
thank you. I may have to call you, Eric, when I'm walking around when I get there on Monday looking for my booth space. Hey, Eric, what was that booth again?
What was that booth number? Yeah. And Ramona says you two and Eric, and yeah, but Eric's the real talent. So we're just the goofy guys out front here.
Talking heads.
Yeah, talking heads. He makes this happen. All right. Well, so that's coming up again. That starts next Wednesday. So I'm actually making a road trip of it, and so if there's anybody along the way between St. Louis and Vegas that needs me to pick you up, just let me know. And so check that out. Also go to decorators.inc/expo. And if you go over there, you can get a free expo pass. If you have not registered yet, you can get a free expo pass by going to that link, decorators.inc/expo. Also coming up for me, Terry, I mentioned, we had the advertisement there at the top of the show, that Growing Your Business Effortlessly workshop. And as you heard, it's 2 90-minute sessions happening on the 28th and 29th of October. And you will leave with all the tools you need for an actionable plan and covering those 5 areas that you saw on that video. So please go check that out. Sign up for it. It'll be an investment well worth that of your money and your time. And so check that out. And then also look for me teaching a virtual session coming up at Applique Getaway, which starts on November 15th. Terry's favorite show name, Applique Getaway. And so you can grab... Yeah, you can grab your tickets over at osg.link/virtual AG, and check that out. All right. Well, Terry, would you mind sharing what Eric's got happening here today?
Absolutely. You can join Eric for the Take Up. Today is episode 131. That's awesome. It's on jargon, terms and techniques, and digitizing, in which we'll talk about misunderstood terms and techniques that Eric discusses most, as well as the language borrowed from vector drawing, printing, hand embroidery, and other disciplines to help Eric describe what we do. From let's see, head over to ericcampbell.com and click the Take Up at the top of the page, and it will be the full playlist of his 131 events. I guess they're all still up there, Eric. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. They are. I mean, you're talking about, every week Eric puts on a master class for free for you guys. So if you're not checking that out, you're totally missing out. Even if you're not an embroiderer, okay, we know I'm not an embroiderer, so we won't go into my 15 minutes of fame joke, but I show up and I learn something every time. So make sure that you're showing up for that. The Take Up happening today. I think it's 2:30 Mountain Time, if I recall. Yep, I'm getting the head shake that I got that right. Good. All right, Terry. One last reminder for everybody. Reggie nominations are open. We've got probably 15-ish days left, I think, about. So there's time, but not much time. So get over there. If you have not filled out the nomination form, just go over. There's a bit.ly link on the screen right now, or you can go to just directly to our website, the number 2, regularguys.com. And once you hit that homepage, I've actually got a little banner right at the top. It says nominate here or click here. Just click on it. It'll take you right over to that nomination form. So check that out. And Terry, I think we've had a great show. What an amazing amount of information today. And just really want to thank Jenna Sackett from Stalls for joining us. Make sure you get over to stalls.com/events and make sure that you say thank you for all that great information from Jenna today, Terry.
Absolutely. And we also want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell, for all he does. And Eric, a special thank you for all the help with this week's outline. Yeah,
definitely. Great stuff from Eric. And we've put the pressure on him, right? We've done these new segments. He's doing it all and making it look easy and amazing. So he's I don't think he's available for sale, but all right. Well, Terry, next week we are going to be broadcasting live from Printing United in Las Vegas. We'll see how that goes. You never know with internet out there, but we will at least be capturing, and we'll be doing our best to have at least one live broadcast from the show floor. As I mentioned, you get that free expo pass from decorators.inc/expo. So looking forward to seeing everybody out at the show next week. And if you're not going to make it, make sure that you're stay tuned to the Facebook page, because I'll try to be posting on there as well.
Awesome. Hope to see a lot of you folks out there. But until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And we are the two regular guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.